Hi there, I'm Denis from Windmill and I'm here at the War Chest. Wizards of the Coast were kind enough to provide us with our own pre-release packs for Amonkhet, and since the set is inspired by ancient Egypt, we decided to try capture some of that flavor. Ancient Egypt was a cruel and merciless place. Disobeying the will of the pharaoh could lead to some particularly harsh punishments. Caning, flogging, stabbing, and disfigurement were all common treatments for criminals. On Amonkhet, the unworthy who fail the trials of the gods face similar dangers. And at this pre-release, so do our players. Hidden beneath the shifting desert sands are punishments that will be dished out to those who fail. Losing your match means a punishment in the next. Now that we know the rules, let's get started.
So first impressions seemed pretty sweet. I mean, all my rares were either in red or green or an artifact, so it's a pretty strong signal of where to go.
My deck was great. I really liked it. It was black, white zombies with some synergies, and the Black God Bontu.
It was just play a lot of dudes. I had Mouth to Feed. I had Vizier of the Menagerie, which is great because when I played it, every time I was like, I'm just gonna have a look.
So this is Alan. Alan needs some help finishing his deck, and it's okay to help people at the pre-release. And every pre-release will have its fair share of Alans. So what's the problem here, Alan? You need to cut 2 more cards?
Yeah, and I don't know what to cut.
These 2, you're fine, don't worry about it. So I opened Liliana's Expertise, and once I saw that, I figured I would go all in on zombies. Things that are already zombies, things that embalmed the zombies, anything that I could wrap embalming fluid around, I was all in on.
Very, very simple. It was white-red beats, so using an awful lot of the exert mechanic and a little bit of the cycling wherever possible.
So I opened my pool, and I thought I knew what I was doing with the set. Turns out I have no idea what I was doing with the set. Read every card, had no idea what I was doing. Saw Drake Haven. Was just like, sure, why not? Put every cycling card in my deck possible, and it was awful. 2-1.
First thing I saw was Regal Caracal, our preview card, and I really wanted to fit into a deck, but I got a little overwhelmed looking at the pool and ended up just kind of defaulting to red-black aggro. Pretty kind of standard fare, a lot of commons and uncommons. I had an Archfiend of Ifnir, which would have been great if I'd drawn it once during the event. But yeah, I mean, in theory, it was a great card.
So I managed to open up 2 Anointed Processions. So I thought I'd force a good token and embalm deck. And then Glyph Keeper was my promo. So it seemed to go well for a blue-white. So that seemed like a reasonable pushing off point. So I forced embalm really hard in those 2 colors.
I was real thankful that Dennis helped me build my deck because I wasn't 100% sure what to be doing, what kind of color to go into, what were my strong cards, what were my bad cards. So having someone there to help me pick the cards and help me kind of put the deck in a proper order made me and I had a lot more fun playing tonight than if I had to try to make it myself, because I feel it probably wouldn't perform as good.
So we've built all our decks, opened all the packs, we're ready to go. Round 1, I'm playing against Steve.
So match 1, I took my army of black-white zombies up against Alex, and I found that he had a very similar deck to mine, just slightly better.
Game 1, I just run him over with zombies. Game 2, he runs me over with flyers. And then game 3, I play Plague Belcher, the 2 black 5/4 menace. That puts 2 counters on something. Kill my guy that reanimates, and 5 them 4 times.
So it really was quite a slow war of attrition, and they were pretty close games, but his deck was just better constructed than mine.
Yeah, so match 1 went pretty terribly. I got stomped 2-1. I won a round, but still got stomped by another red-green deck.
You know that double black card where 1 crop mate drowns the other one? That's effectively what I did to Gary.
Match 1, I was playing against Steve. It was good fun, but I don't think it was particularly close. Steve had a little bit of mana troubles, and I had some pretty aggressive draws.
Had a bunch of 4-drops on my deck. Turns out when I was against Ushin, he went 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, kill you. Can't deal with that with infinite 4-drops. So rip me.
Match 1, I was against Nikki. It was real good, fun. Kind of nerve-wracking though when you're going up against someone in a brand new format. You've no idea what cards you're going to see. You've no idea what kind of way they've built their deck.
I was convinced it was going to do really well, and then it absolutely tanked. I was against Alan, and he got it as Nissa, and it just didn't function fast enough or well enough at all.
I played a Nissa on 6, ultimated, untapped 2 lands, swung for lethal with the 2 lands, so it was great. She was on exactly 10.
So at the end of round 1, I lost Alex, and then I received what I would consider a pretty harsh punishment. Bear in mind I wrote the punishments. I had my deck taken away from me, and I got Alex's instead. So it was really a strict upgrade as far as power level was concerned. Best punishment ever.
Denis's punishment was my punishment. He had to swap decks with me, so I got his deck and he got mine.
They took away all my white cards, and I had a choice, and I could either sacrifice my Anointed Procession or my Glyph Keeper, essentially. And I stuck with my blues and discovered that that was exactly the only thing that worked in my deck.
So the branding was pretty fine, just on the arm, not a bother.
Punishment, I got zombified or embalmed or whatever you want to call it. Took forever, had to hold my arms straight out, got real tired. What a day. So I'm wearing a wool jumper, had to take that off. Once all the tissue paper got on, felt like I was wearing 100 layers. Sweating all the time. Oh my God, it was awful.
The funniest punishment by far is probably the embalming of Steve. It's real funny. Just the whole everybody working together to try and make sure that the actual toilet paper stuck to him so that it wouldn't just fall off when he started to move.
I don't know how much of this ends up in the video, but we spent a good 10 minutes with 4 people just wrapping toilet paper around Steve. But the best part for me was watching him waddle over to his seat and then sit down and then attempt to play something resembling a normal game of Magic.
Oh, I'm ripping around. I can't see again. That's good. I like it. Who isn't? Alright, Vampire deck.
Match 2 was about when my deck stopped cooperating.
Match 2, I was against Ushin, playing Denis's deck, and played Archfiend of Lifner and cycled some cards to wipe his board, and proceeded to play loads of zombies.
So you would think, because I got to trade decks with Alex, who had just a better version of my deck, that match 2 would go well. And it didn't. I got thrashed by Nikki's deck, Nikki's now mono blue deck.
Match 2, I just hit them with flyers and brought back any embalm I could and just kept my board state as solid throughout as possible.
So I couldn't see who I was playing against or what I was casting. Just put random cards on the table, drew randomly, threw cards at my opponent, no idea who it was, somehow won.
The actual task of him playing, where when he would play a card, he would just go and throw it onto the battlefield was the funniest thing.
Second game, played Alan, or second match, played Alan. Game 2, did 18 damage with insult to injury, bit of a blowout card, and then game 3, severely mana flooded. I think 10 out of my 13 cards were lands.
He then played a 7 mana enchantment that was a curse that said every upkeep I have to sacrifice a creature, and on my turn I played an 8 mana enchantment that created a 5/5 at the end step, so it just completely negated the 2 of them, so I just kept cycling a 5/5, playing dudes, and eventually waited till I could just swing and kill him. So that was game 3, it was great, it was super fun.
I lost round 2, and so I had to be punished. Ushin had to be punished too, and he got the red hot chili pepper. And I figured, because we originally did the chili pepper draft together and it was a whole thing, that I would just take that as my punishment as well. It is by far the worst punishment in the box, and I instantly regretted my decision. It burns just as bad as it did a couple months ago, and I don't know what I was thinking.
So after round 2, I was punished with a hot chili pepper. I've experienced those before, and it did not get any easier. I have not built up any tolerance, and my stomach's in bits right now.
I think I held it together for the first 20 seconds. Yeah, the chili peppers, as soon as it hits the back of your throat, it's the whole different ball game, and I went extremely red and was in an awful lot of pain.
I feel like everyone's going to say, oh, the hot chili one, oh, they were all running around dying and stuff. I think it was actually the handcuffs, just because whenever you were watching them and then there's that split second when they forgot they were handcuffed and one of them raised their hand and the other one got hit in the face, it was great.
Match 3 was against Steve, our resident mummy, and again, good game. Went to 3 games? I think it was 3 games. No, it's 2 games. I got my ass kicked.
So, as I said, I have a bunch of 4-drops in my deck. So I conveniently went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He played lands.
Match 3, I felt I had a pretty good handle on just bringing out the flyers as soon as I can and keeping that going, and that seemed to work pretty well again.
Match 3, I managed to get absolutely slaughtered by a mono blue 24 card deck. So Nikki was punished by having one of her colors taken away, and it turned out it was just holding her back because the flyers were overwhelming.
We also invited James from Loading Ready Run. We figured what's a pre-release without a member of everyone's favourite Canadian comedy troupe, but unfortunately he couldn't make it, so we just hired Gary, our local James Turner impersonator, but I think he got a lot of the job done. Match 3, I played faux James Turner, and it also did not go well. He very quickly powered out the 5-4 crocodile thing that hits you real hard. I don't remember because I feel like I still have a concussion after it.
At the end of the match, I managed to win by casting a Glorybringer, finally, my first time, and then just swinging out and using brute strength on it. Pretty sweet.
He mulliganed to 5 both games and just wrecked me. It wasn't even close. I could have been playing with playing cards.
So game 3 was against Alex. It was real difficult. He had a lot of zombie cards.
Pretty much just played loads of zombies both games and ran him over.
He was just removing my guys with -1/-1 counters, and I couldn't keep up with that, so he just ran me over. Even with Nissa on the board, he just managed to get her out of the way, so couldn't do anything there.
Zombies took down a Nissa and just ran over all his guys to claim Nissa and then claimed him. It feels great to have won the pre-release. But yeah, the set is really fun. I'm looking forward to playing more of it this weekend.
Really fun, looking forward to getting more cards, looking forward to drafting and playing a bit more sealed.
I really enjoyed Amonkhet as a format. A lot of the cards feel very modal, so cycling and embalm and stuff like that means the cards have a lot of different uses, which makes the gameplay feel very dynamic.
I really enjoy it. I think there's a pretty diverse set of ways it can be played, and I like the fact there's so much bringing back from the graveyard and putting it into the graveyard.
My favourite card that I played was Mouth to Feed, which was actually in Alex's deck that I got to use for rounds 2 and 3, because if there's anything I love more than making hippos, it's drawing cards off hippos. So it really brings 2 of my passions together.
It was super fun, getting to see all the cards before anyone else could. It felt real special, so I really enjoyed that.